What's going on, everybody? My name is Terminus, and today we are watching Jujutsu Kaisen episode 11. It's been quite a while since I've watched it. It's been quite a while. I do remember 80-90% of what happened, so don't worry about that. I probably will have to look up the names before we jump in, but we did end up with our new sensei, basically. Again, I have to put up names, right? The guy with the glasses, he was fighting our fear of humanity kind of curse person. Was able to shape souls, and we're gonna go into overtime. He doesn't like to work into overtime. He likes to finish on time. So we'll see what kind of stops he's gonna pull out in the coming episode. Now, other than that, well, maybe we should look into it. Maybe we should look into it. It's just, yeah, let's look into 10 then. We can just put it on the screen and see if we maybe, let me see, 3, 2, 1, boom, let's put it on. Right, yeah, we started out with the Super Scary Movie Club, nice. Our friend here, I forgot his name. He was really into movies, but he's getting bullied hard, so there's a lot of resentment going on in his personal life. Realized that. We had a situation earlier where he was already in, like, being beaten up. Not very nice, but idol transfiguration, that was the thing. Yeah, there we have it again, like this kind of like resentment that's going on. I wonder if the first person to say the opposite of fondness is indifference. Yeah, went to hell like they should have, because he thinks fondness and hatred, right, are more the opposites than fondness and indifference. So I also think about morality, right, like acting in hatred towards somebody being more right morally on some level than not interacting with them at all. And he doubts that, which, yeah, I kind of agree. The opposite of fondness is definitely hate. Japanese people like to gloat over complicating a simple answer. And this is a very thoughtful person, right? But his talents might go in the wrong direction. Everyone likes a little wordplay, right? It catches on. Making up excuses. These shots, right? But I probably have talked about it last episode. We're not gonna dwell on that too long. He's experimenting with human souls, trying to bloat them, trying to change their shape, which, what does that even mean, right? In a sense. And even if he's not using his transfiguration, in this interaction here between our curse, I think Mahito was his name or something like that, and our new guy here, is he changing our new guy's shape? Is he changing the shape of his soul? Theoretically, right? Not actually, but right? In the sense of putting him on another path. Right. Do we say his name? Do we say his name somewhere? Come on, like, holy shit. And we have all of that shit going on. We're just gonna skip that. Alright, his name is Yoshino Shunpei, so very interesting. And the other one is Nanami-san, which, yeah, cool. And we're fighting here, right? Well, he went to fight Mahito, or at least what Mahito is doing here, right? And encounters him. And Itadori is actually going after Junpei. Gojo is somewhere else. He can't be asked. he has his techniques, right? I do still remember that, and have all these people, right, doing nothing, right? There's a thing to be said about doing nothing. Doing nothing can be morally wrong as well, or can be a problem, right? You see somebody suffer, you're not going to do anything because you're afraid to step in. I mean, obviously, it's also in some sense it's survival instinct, right? You can say cowardice. In some instances that might be true. In other instances, it's just you just aptly, yeah, not putting your life down for somebody, or not putting your well-being down for somebody. And I can't blame everybody, but yeah, alright. Don't have to be such an asshole about it and just pretend it's not happening. Because then you can still pretend you didn't know about it, right? That's the point. It says it to this teacher saying it to him is like, oh, I don't know anything, right? You're good friends, right? Right? Pretending to not notice. Yeah. And we ended on overtime, right? Are they actually gonna be okay? I did like this skit actually last time. It's pretty neat. But yeah. I'm probably gonna cut out a couple of things about this little intro. If you are new to this, because I don't do the JJK reactions all that often, there's a pip in the description down below. There's an edited reaction right here if you want to see that. Check out the Discord, check out the Patreon and all that jazz, and let's get into the reaction. JJK episode 11 starts in 3, 2, 1. I wonder. Like, damn. And we're just pulling out everything. It's one of the people who can suppress it, I guess. Time-based. Alright, so that wasn't just 7-3. What the fuck? Is that a reference to some kind of ratio? But it follows these rules. Very interesting. Very curious. Alright. Broken slice apples like a pro. He's confident. And you think you're gonna be able to do that? Alright, no, you're not. And you're gonna try to do that right now? Whoa. Yeah, I mean. But he's going for him at the same time. Oh, he's putting him at a standstill. Because he knows he might not be able to beat him at this time. He does lack the crucial information. Or maybe just because he's like, dude, this is stupid. I better get back and report this. And then we can manage him. Even if I could beat him. Alright, what do we have? Narrow-minded. Oh yeah, Japanese people have experience with that. Just ask him. Alright. Why did he give him the advice? Alright, he's being relatively honest, I think. So he might be hiding Maito's existence.
いいけど映画館で何見てたの？昔のリバイバル上映だから言ってもわかんないよ。いいからいいから。ミミズ人間3。あれ超つまんねえよ。殴られたことか。殴られた。
He doesn't understand.
でもスプラッタ映画だからさ、あの描写以上の内容を求める僕たちが悪いのかもね。でも2はちょっと面白かったな。そうなんだよ。
And we have a connection. Alright, what are you brooding?
完璧主義の人間が全てを投げ出すまでの感情の動きがちゃんと描けてるんだ。僕も最初なんで面白いのか分かんなくってさ、わざわざ3回見たよ。
A real film buff.
なんでそこまですんの？虎杖君、映画好きなの？ちょい事情があってさ、ここ最近は映画三昧。でもちゃんと映画館でってわけじゃねえんだよな。やっぱり映画館で面白い作品引いた時の感動はでかいよ。オンデマンドも便利だけどさ。今度おすすめあったら連れてってよ。あ、連絡先？
He's so straightforward.
あれ、順平？母さん、こんなところで珍しいね。友達？
さっき会ったばかりだよ。さっき会ったばかりだけど、友達になれそうで。
友達はなんて子？
虎杖裕二です。お母さん、ネギ似合わないっすね。
裕二君、どう？晩飯食べてかない？
ちょっと。
She invites him in right away.
私の飯が迷惑？
It is decided.
嫌いなもんある？アレルギーとか。
ナイス。
Nice. He changed his own shape. Of course he did.
見かけによらず無茶するな、あの術師。ゲト、面白いやつだった。いろいろ勉強になったよ。魂の形さえ保てば死にはしない。
Ooh, okay.
の消費も自己保管の範疇だ。
He had to find that out.
ゲト、服ちょうだい。やだ。相手の呪術師は一度退くと言っていたけど、瓦礫の下かも。
吉野純平の自宅に。それはちょっと。
大丈夫大丈夫。じゃあ俺これから晩飯だから。
晩飯で。
He doesn't understand.
違和感を抱いたらすぐ逃げてください。
大丈夫です。大丈夫です。
加害者側として関わっていたとしても、今の虎杖君ならすぐやられるようなことはないでしょう。ただ、これは監督する立場として大失態。
Bro, don't put yourself down.
予定より早い連絡。はい、叱られる。はい、ごめんなさい。
What are you going to say about?
なので、ピックアップお願いします。
Ooh, he needs to pick up.
保線に戻って家入さんの治療を受けます。大丈夫。死ぬような傷じゃありません。
Still pretty bloody.
すぐ虎杖君と合流、そちらに向かいます。
一緒にいないんですか？
私のバカ。
Should have just shut your trap.
あの呪霊は子供だ。
In terms of mentality.
してからそこまで時間が経っていない。
Yeah.
貪欲に自分の成長を楽しんでいる。五条さんが戦った特級呪霊は領域展開まで得得。
So he was more grown up in a way.
したらそのステージまで上り詰めるのにそう時間はかからないだろう。1秒でも早く払わないと。
The challenges ahead are
になる。
very grave indeed. I do love that shot and like from the trash can.
そんでね、高橋君が自信満々にがあるかもしれない。みんな触っちゃダメだ。2から拾ってみたら役だったんすよ。母さん飲みすぎ。ユジ君面白いな。ほら、モノボケモノボケ。最悪の酔っ払いだ。ウィルソンウィルソン許してくれ。ウィルソンこれキャストアウェイだろ。正解。
Yeah. And he breaks his barrier constantly. Yeah, he has that effect on people, I guess.
順平の母ちゃん、いい人だな。
学校？
Right. Okay. That is not in the picture.
行かなくてもあんたぐらいの年頃は何でも重く考えすぎるからね。学校なんて小さな水槽に過ぎないんだよ。
School is not everything, right?
海だって他の水槽だってある。好きに選びな。私めっちゃいいこと言うな。
It's a bit unusual.
虎杖君のお母さんはどんな人？
ああ、俺会ったことねえんだわ。
Ooh, yeah.
父ちゃんはうっすら記憶あんだけど、俺にはじいちゃんがいたから。
Mm.
もしもし、伊地知さん？はい、大丈夫っす。じゃあ2時間後に。
She told him. See ya.
術師なんだよね。
おう。
人を殺したことある？
ない。
でもいつか悪い呪術師と戦ったりするよね。
Hmm.
その時はどうするの？
それでも殺したくはないな。
悪いやつだよ。
なんつうか、一度人を殺したら殺すって選択肢が俺の生活に入り込むと思うんだ。
Ooh, that is an interesting thought.
曖昧になって
You do it once.
わからなくなるのが俺は怖
It
い。
shifts your perspective. He admits that it scares him, which is very interesting.
その考えに救われた。力を与えてもらった。
Yeah, but then you...
僕が人を殺すことであの魂が汚れてしまうなら
That's what I mean, he's on the edge.
殺せない。
I hope nothing happens to the mama, to be honest.
げ、もうこんな時間。片付けないと。何これ。指？
I just said it. I just fucking said it. Why can't we have nice things? Why can't we have nice things?
里桜高校での事件後、吉野純平の自宅から実母吉野凪の遺体と宿儺の指𝗠𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗰が見つかる。
But what is Junpei doing?
が欠損していた。現場には目視で確認可能な血痕はなく、
What is he gonna think?
俺は𝕸𝕠𝕦𝕥かよ。ナナミ、怪我してんだろ。次はちゃんと連れてってくれ。仲間が死にました。でも僕はそこにいませんでした。なぜなら僕は子供だからです。
Oh, holy shit. That responsibility that he feels. Even for people who are like more experienced than him.
俺はごめんだ。
ダメです。知っての通り、例の継ぎはぎの呪霊は改造した人間を使う。どうしようもない人間というのは存在します。
He thinks he can't do it.
君もいつか人を殺さなければいけない時が来る。でもそれは今ではない。理解してください。子供であると
The struggle continues.
して罪ではない。
黒い服は持っていなかったから母のクローゼットを開けて嗅ぎ慣れた朝の空気も見慣れた通学路も今日は
スクナといって呪いを呼び寄せる呪物なんだ。
なんでそんなものがうちに。
人を呪うことで金を稼いでいる呪詛師は多い。そういう連中の仕業だろう。
No.
心当たりはないかい？もしくは金と暇を持て余した薄暗い人間。
Dark and gloomy, money and free time.
全国読書感想文コンクール最優秀作品賞𝗸𝕠𝕠𝕦𝕥。
And he's putting him on the trail?
いやー、照れますね。
Alright. Maybe he thinks it's gonna be one of them. Or him. Specifically.
何してくれてんの？適当に書けっつったろ。最優秀賞なんか取らせやがって。死ぬか？
ごめん。
何あの黒いの。
どれどれ？
Curse is forming. Oh.
闇より黒く
He's doing it. Like specifically.
払え。
Oh, okay, we're building like a
悪いね、真人。
shield across that.
を残すわけにはいかないから。
A veil,
内から
yeah.
は出られない。外からは入れる。
すぐに窓が通報するだろう。君の考えている絵図が描けるといいね。
順平がスクナの器を引き当てた時点で二人をぶつけて虎杖悠仁に
To kill him. Or in a pact, right? The interesting thing is they don't know that there's already something like this existing.
少年院の指はすぐに虎杖裕二が取り込んでしまったからね。吉野純平の家に仕掛けた方は高専に回収させたい。悪巧み？まあね。
You're placing your bets on schooner.
帰っちゃうの？ゲートも見てけばいいのに。きっと楽しいよ。
A child, like you said.
死ぬところは。どうしたお前ら？
Why doesn't it affect him though?
死にはしないよ。
吉野、いや、知っているのか？何が起こっているか？
先生、ちゃんと見ててね。
お前、その傷。吉野。
聞きたいことがある。あれをうちに置いたの、お前か？
何の話だ？なんだよ。
なってないな。
I'm not sure I know what's happening here, right?
自分が質問を質問で返せる立場だと思っているのか。
He can't have a finger, right?
質問の答えがイエスでもノーでもそうされるだけのことをお前はしてきたからね。
Or is it just a technique? I don't know.
最後くらい誠意を見せてくれ。
ごめんな。
でだから
何してんだよ純平。
引っ込んでろよ呪術師。
Interesting. Very interesting. Like, we don't have a lot going on here, to go on here. About what exactly is happening. Let's roll. We literally just have... we literally just have cliffhangers for every episode. That is crazy. Alright, yeah, we are starting with taunts here. Very interesting. I'm still not getting everything about that. He's like, I'm going into overtime, like a time-based pact, which is very interesting. Does that mean it only sets in at a certain time, right? Or it only sets in when you are, right? When you're in over your head, what's happening here, right? We do have obviously a suppression, but I was thinking that this was actually what they, like what Jujutsu sorcerers were able to do just as a default. Not sure if I got that wrong, if I remembered that wrong. Maybe it's actually the case that the default is that we have a constant stream regardless of emotion and stuff going on. And in his case, it's like super heavily reduced and he can actually let it out. Possible. And we have that line across the target and he explains it all very thoroughly. And he's thinking strategically about this. He's like, well, a drawn-out fight I'm not gonna win, so I'm gonna just do a one-out punch, take him out of commission, not kill him, mind you. Or maybe I could maybe kill him, but I'd rather not bank everything on that and just go for that surprise element and then get the hell out of there to report what happened. Again, I do absolutely love these frames and how the cursed energy is actually being how it's been drawn and everything. We use a lot of this is like a very shifted perspective if you look at like the way it's slanted in terms of the picture. The frizzly arm here, right? But really cool how the movement is being especially this. Look at this. Boom, boom. Right? It looks very, very wonky, very weird. But if you actually put it in motion, it works. It works. Holy shit, how do you draw that? Like, how do you draw this piece by piece and know how that it works? Yeah, and we go for the wall. Fucking impact frame. They love to do these twirly moves, I noticed, right? These, whoa, I'm gonna rotate around myself. And they're very nice, very, very playful, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I like them all that much. I like them in terms of like when we had the Gojo fight, because there was a lot of cool rotational energy going on, and he kind of vibes like that. I don't know if I like it for Nanami here, but either way, we're going in. A continuous shot, right? And the punch going right in our faces, and then we switch the angle. Very interesting how we almost do it like a singularity, and then it's popping out, kinda. Yeah, and then we have the impact frame. And he's playful like a child, as he says later. But he's putting him, yeah, he's putting him on the thing. Okay, well, we're not gonna go through it piece by piece. We're gonna look at some elements of this. Yuji is definitely good at breaking through people's personal barriers, right? Breaking the ice, and at the same time not being as forward or as, I would say, rude, or having that aura, that personality, that natural charisma to actually put people at ease while doing it, right? Form that connection. And the two of them form connection over that one thing about the movies, even though they come from two very completely different elements of that. Yeah. And he's like immediately like, hey, we can go to the theater next time together. And what a surprise meeting his mother here. But yeah, seems like a very nice person, right? Maybe a little bit of a goober, but very nice altogether. Bro has been able to experiment. Now he knows actually that he's not gonna die when he changes shape, which is scary because he keeps learning, right? He keeps getting better and better, even if our side also gains information and gets better. But we rightfully analyze that, we have that in our mind, we're like very careful about this, and I do think that is also why he wanted to go back, because he wanted to reconvene and actually get this done, right? If he died there would be no information gained, and they wouldn't even know that is a problem, right? He is a problem. Again, breaking through that barrier by going through people's interests, which is very, right, very empathetic, and Itadori, or Yuji, has shown that more and more as we went on. And she just likes that her son is having some casual interactions with a boy his age, because that's something that she probably has seen that hasn't been the case all that much, and that he was more somebody who's more brooding and whatever. A very, very tolerant person, right? Especially for Japanese society, that she says, you know, school isn't everything, right? You're gonna be alright. If you really don't feel like it. That is a thing that not every parent, even in this day and age in Japan, would say. The East, Asia in general, is very, very strict when it comes to adherence to like school and social norms, especially regarding that, but also regarding other things. Asks him right out, he confirms, because Yuji is a very, very honest guy, and he shares that. You know, I would be afraid if all of that became ambiguous, and that's a thing, right? That's actually a thing, right? Imagine you're a soldier and you kill somebody for the first time, right? This is gonna change you. This is gonna change how you approach every situation after that. Doesn't mean that you're tainted, as they put it here, but in a way there is, like, first of all, there's some innocence lost, obviously, and second of all, there's the real aspect of when you have done something one time, for maybe also legitimate and right reasons, and you feel like it was the right thing to do, then this new concept, this new experience that you've been making, it can be applicable to the next thing, right? To a thing that is adjacent to that or similar to that, a situation like that. And then where do you draw the line, right? Is the line just gonna get continuously shifted off, right? And at some point you don't even know who you are anymore, and maybe you realize that you've done a giant mistake and whatever. But then it's gonna be too late, right? Then you have to live with that decision. And that is definitely a moral line that maybe not everyday people have to necessarily consider, But even them, right, if something happens to them, right, you're acting in self-defense and you kill somebody. I mean, it's not gonna draw the line, but you know you're capable of it, right? And alone, like, the experience of being capable of something like that is gonna change your perspective on these things. Even if it's not gonna make you a bad human being necessarily. And you thought that people don't have hearts. That idea saved me. Killing someone would mean tainting myself. And then that's what he thinks about his mom, but his mom is gone. That's the problem. And the finger got placed. The finger got placed, right? And it's all staged. It's all staged. Yeah. I mean, we know what happened, but the question is, how do they frame this, right? Right, he's like, some people need to be killed to be put out of their misery. And there will come a time when you actually have to do that, right? Kill a person yourself, be that a deformed person to actually save them, more or less. Or be that an actual person that's done a lot of evil shit. This is something like that people in, I guess, in the police force have to deal with a lot, or in other adjacent jobs where it's all about like protecting people, right? Where it's all about maybe also being in a high octane situation where you yourself, your life yourself is at danger, and then you have to defend yourself in order to kind of uphold the law, more or less, right? You're doing your duty, and during that you get attacked. The only recourse you do have is actually shooting back, right? At least in some situations. And then you have to deal with that moral quandary, right? And at some point it might happen that you kill somebody, and obviously there will be an investigation and everything, and they will look into if that was justified and whatnot. But it's not as simple as just people being like, okay, you were in the right here. It's what do you feel for yourself in that case. And he wants to keep him from that because he's still a child, right? He wants to give him that time of development, experiencing other things, right? Learning and being more experienced, but not having to make these tough decisions immediately. And that's why he said, I didn't want to bring you along. But I understand Yuji's point as well, right? On the other hand, it's like, hey, look, you might be my teacher or whatever, right? You might be more experienced than me, but I don't want to put that on myself, that I wasn't there in the moment when I could have helped. And that is kind of Yuji's thing, right? That he often feels guilty about these things. He's gonna feel guilty about Junpei here as well. He's gonna feel guilty that he wasn't able to foresee that, wasn't present, and the mom died and this happened, but we'll have to see how that turns out. And he explains it here, because option on the schooner that attracts other curses, blah blah blah. And he's like, what was it doing here? Obviously they planted it, but he's saying there's many curse users who earn money by cursing people. So he's putting it like humans bad, right? Right? People plant that here, right? And then they defeat the curses. At least that's how I understand that. Right? They plant the curses and then they defeat them themselves and they make money. Or maybe he's saying like bad curse users, but he would kind of incriminating himself, right? More or less, right? Because he has that association. So I do wonder if it meant it like that, right? Like Jujutsu sorcerers, for example, or if he meant it like bad curse users, which in this case would be Geto. And if he finds out that Maito and Geto are together, right? They're working together, this might be one of the reasons for him to switch back over to the quote-unquote good side. Right, with money and connections. So it's like, can you think of anyone who might hold a grudge against you or your mother? Nothing specifically. And then he changes the thing and he's like, or perhaps someone dark and gloomy and plenty of money and free time. Which in this case would be his bully, right? So this is what happens. I'm still not sure what kind of power he's gotten. Maybe he's gotten the finger and he can actually use it, but that would be kind of weird because we know that Yuji is the only one who kind of survived that. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, you can plant the finger in people, but are they then still people? I don't think so, right? You know, like with the curse womb, when it was born in the present, it wasn't the same way, so... Still need to get a grasp on how the mechanics of all of that works. we're creating a veil. The windows will notice. We gotta be quick. And he wants to put him into like a pact with like Skuna's dominant side, which is very interesting because they don't know. They don't know he already has a pact. I mean, he himself doesn't know, which might be putting Skuna at an advantage. So very interesting. I do wonder if it will really turn out the way they expect it to turn out when he gets more and more powerful, and even if Skuna gains more and more kind of influence. Skuna, I read him as the person who isn't gonna do his own thing, and if he meets people like Maito and Geto, he's gonna be like, you know, what you're doing is really, really cute, but fuck you, I'm doing my own thing, right? Get out of my fucking way, step out the road. But we'll have to see that about that. Yeah, this thing, not sure. We'll have to figure that out next time. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get explained. Yuji going in, he's like, bam. And I do wonder what's that behind him. It's like, I don't know. We saw that in the thing, in the OP. I think it's like kind of jellyfish or some kind of thing. Oh, can't wait to find that out. And for Yuji, it will definitely be a very hard decision to fight against somebody who's who is supposedly a friend, but we'll see. Maybe we actually get to the point that he can convince him to stick by him, because he made an impression on Junpei. So yeah, on to the next one, I guess. Right, JJK episode 12 starts in a 3, a 2. Oh, sorry, false start. I'm joking, false start, holy shit. I apologize for that. Now, JJK episode 12 in 3, a 2, a 1. Alright, then we're right back in the action, right? Oh no, we're shortly before that, okay, cool. Alright, Nanami. Nah, he's gone. Who's the second person next to him? They love to play with that, like, blur. Is that his second year or third year? I'm sure we're gonna meet him later on the tournament. And he doesn't want to let him pass. Yeah. Our duty to protect you and people like you. And he feels like he failed him already. He can't just stand still, that's not in his nature. Yo, where's Goto at? Like, holy shit. Gojo, I mean, sorry. Gojo. Where's Gojo at? Bro is sleeping through this whole thing. I think it's a very interesting choice that they expand the cast so much. Let's talk about that later. To you, someday. Curious title. Alright, they're fighting. So is he using cursed spirits? Oh no, it's a cursed technique. It's like with Megumi. And this is a battle of morals. Perspective. Maybe you're lying a little bit to yourself. A bit too hasty. And he's teaching him, right? He's the mentor.
時間をかけて掴む感覚は俺が教えられるからすぐに戦えるようになる。
A shortcut.
順平、才能あるよ。
And this is obviously a point of self-confidence as well. A point of like... Oh, the chat. Always putting the shield in. And the double punch. Bro's very resilient. Yeah. Holy shit. And he's still trying to talk.
それらしい理屈をこねたって。
式神使いは術師本人を叩きな。
お前はただ自分が正しいって思いたいだけだ。
Yes. Don't we all? Don't we all?
何か理由があるんだろう。でもそれは本当にあの生活を捨ててまでのことなのか。
Problem is it's gone, right? And that's what he doesn't know.
人の心がまやかしなんてあの人の前で言えんのかよ。
If he accepts the heart, he needs to let in all that pain.
お前まだないんだよ。
It's easier to believe that, right?
そうでなきゃ母さんも僕も人の心に呪われたっていうのか。
It would make it worse.
あんまりじゃないか。もう何が正しくて何が間違っているのかも。
And here we do have the self-sacrifice again. As always. A clash of ideals. Yeah, tell me. Help me understand. People are hurt, they do hurtful things to others. And he didn't know. Nanami knew, but he didn't. Find a way to use that. We'll find out what happened. And he's stretching out his hand. But here we have Maito.
初めましてだね。
違う。
スクナの器？
待て、マヒトさん。バカか俺は。つやき顔の人形で。ナナミ。
Yeah.
じゃねえか。逃げろ、順平。こいつとどんな関係かは知らん。けど今は逃げてくれ。落ち着いて。マヒトさんは悪い人じゃ。
Want to think about that again? A little bit naive, aren't you?
順平はさ、まあ頭いいんだろうね。でも熟慮は時に短慮以上の愚行を招くものさ。
Ooh, that is a sentence.
順平って君がバカにしている人間の
Your mother.
次ぐらいにはバカだから。
Oh no, okay. I thought he was gonna go there.
なんだよ。無意天変。
Holy shit. Can we turn them back?
さあ、ラウンド2だ。
Ooh. Exactly what we said last time. And this is what they wanted to do. He enjoys that. Of course he does. They didn't expect that. They already have the pact. He wants to see him suffer. I don't think so. Well, I don't believe so. Maybe I'm wrong. Right. That negative emotion. Aptly realized it. And it's not his fault. What could have been, right? Is that the reason for the OP picture? Do we have hope yet? What's going on? What the hell? Oh, is he attuning to Sukuna's techniques? Well, look at that. Amazing panel. And we arrived at that border. The one he was afraid of. No, he doesn't. Alright, give us your insights.
ならば、殺したいほど憎い相手を殺せないとき、彼は宿儺に頼るだろうか。順平で足りなければ、生徒を一人ずつ目の前で変えてやればいい。
Oh, that will be that easy.
伏見で宿儺との交渉を促し、虎杖裕二に縛りを課す。
Does he know? He doesn't know.
万々歳。だが、これは俺が彼より強いことが大前提。 なかなかどうして天敵
All bad luck, I guess. You reap what you sow. Wow, holy shit. Animation just went crazy. Just keep hitting. Shit. All right. Here we fucking go. Fuck just happened? Ooh. Yeah, he can change shape, right? Of course. But he learns, right? That's the problem, he keeps learning. Big spikes.
君じゃ俺に勝てないよ。さっさと変わんなよ。 宿儺にさ、無意転変。
Can he not?
俺の魂に触れるか。
Ooh.
共に腹の底から小僧を笑った仲だ。一度は許す。二度はない。
How dare you, insect?
部をわきまえろ。知れ者が。
Hmm.
変わんねえよ。言ったよな。殺してやれって。
Headbutt. Holy shit. Break his nose. Break his face, forget the nose. Oh. The fuck happened? Ooh. Okay, number two. Number two, now we're talking.
ナナミ。
説教は後で現状報告を。
二人助けられなかった。
Hmm.
どこまでも他人のこと。
Yes, always.
体のことを。
俺は平気。いっぱい穴開いてっけど。
平気の意味。
あと学校の人らは全員体育館でぶっ倒れてる。
ピンピンしてるじゃん、七三術師。お互い無事で何よりだね。ハグでもするかい？再会を祝して。
Why are you bleeding, dude?
虎杖君、あの話を。
え、俺が殴った。
It shouldn't be possible, right?
いっちゃん最初。
奴の手に触れましたか？
うん。
私の攻撃は奴に効きません。
え、は？なんで？
理由は説教の時に。1、虎杖君に奴の術式が効かない。
2, there's some reason. Use it to your advantage.
奴の動きは止められます。お互いが作った隙に攻撃を畳みかけていきましょう。
Let's fucking go.
ここで確実に払います。
And that's it. More next week, I guess. I ain't watching 3, at least not right now. I'm sorry. Gonna be a cool fight. We haven't seen you in a while. Back to YouTube. Right, last discussion of today. Not another episode. But still very important, very important. Yuji, once again, being very much himself and trying to not being able to stand still if he knows somebody is in danger, especially somebody he's connected to. That's a very important distinction, of course, but in general, but even more so if he knows and gotten to know somebody. Nanami wants to forbid it to him, but he knows it's not effective. We have somebody else, right, who is gonna gonna fight these people in regards to him possibly being raised to a first-class sorcerer, which might be good for him because he can fight stronger enemies then. I find it very interesting. I think we saw him in another episode, or at the very least we had him mentioned. I think right here we do have an episode. Which episode was that? I'm kind of blanking on that. I think it's episode 8, right? Episode 8, yeah, where Gojo mentions Hakari Yokotsu and Your Todo, right? So one of them, it's probably one of them. It's not Todo. I think Todo is the big buff dude, but Hakari Yokotsu could be him, whoever he is. Although those are students, so maybe he's not a student anymore, but he's like a higher up, a teacher, whatever, right? Who is in? But it seems like he seems like more of a student. So I don't know if that's him, but either way, we do know he's strong and he's assisting Nanami here. And he's one of those people. Let's get this party started. Yay! Really, really cool to have these teased, right, and foreshadowed, and we're probably going to see more of them at the very latest during the tournament. Yeah, he is standing his ground here, which, I mean, I understand Ichi-san on one hand, right, because he is, Ichiji's, he's only a window, so he can't do anything about it. That's why he can't stop him. But he feels responsible for him because he's seen more, right? He's grown up. They all feel responsible for Itadori and for Nobara and for Fujigoro, because they're still students. They're still kids, more or less. They're teenagers. They're still growing. They shouldn't have to make all of these hard choices, being put in danger constantly. And even if you can't necessarily assist or aren't stronger than somebody, it's still like your responsibility, more or less, right? At least by heart as an adult, to kind of take care and make sure that the kids are not taking on more than they can chew, not getting headfirst into danger if you could have prevented it with some form of reasonable argument. But we all know, right? Nanami knows, Gigi knows, they could have convinced Yuchi to stop. And that's what happens. And we have our clash that was the intended purpose. But it doesn't go the way they expected to go. It doesn't, well, first of all, it doesn't go the way they, Junpei actually expected to go. He's using a Shikigami, which I find very interesting, because we do have that parallel to Megumi now, who is using Shikigami. I wonder if there's a difference in techniques, because Megumi actually uses shadows to create a Shikigami, and we didn't see anything in that regard with Junpei, so there might be another technique or being inherent to that. What's the point of indiscriminate salvation? He's just pushing it all off, right? What's the point in saving everybody? People are bad. I don't understand, like, don't mistake the value of life. Maybe just don't value life in general, right? There's a difference between different, but then he would be kind of contradicting himself, because he says people don't have a heart later on, which kind of proves that he's just trying to disassociate with this part of himself, right? I mean, he's been doing that before, and it worked for him. That he's saying, like, people don't have a heart, otherwise, right? What heart wishes these curses on other people? Or what heart has such malice in it? Tender emotions are everything, but the heart is just the metabolism of the soul, and it's just logifying it, right? Compartmentalizing it, trying to just put it into a specific category and treating it clinically, right? Pushing it away from what you feel. This is like all of it. It's just a computer, right? Your emotions, everything, your heart. It's just this little device called soul, and this is how it works. Don't restrict me with rules that are based on a delusion. Like, if I don't believe a heart exists, if I don't believe a soul, if I don't believe a soul is something ethereal, right? If I believe a soul is just another part of the body, then what is killing somebody? It's not that difficult anymore. This is what interests me here. Poison will make your Shikigami so great, blah blah blah. Learn to control the size and strength of your, as well as the potency. Okay, a normal one would take some time to grasp it, but you have the talent, right? I'll teach you. So I misunderstood that. I thought he could kind of just short-circuit it, but he actually says you have talent. That's why you're gonna be able to pick it up. But it doesn't affect him. It doesn't affect him because he's special, right? I mean, I don't know exactly why it doesn't affect him, because we have that thing later with the soul, but I think those are two separate things. I think it's just him. I mean, why didn't Skuna's vessel, like a finger, kill him? It's the same thing, right? He's been very sturdy from the beginning, very unnatural, very superhuman in a way. And we're having a confrontation of ideals, basically. Jujutsu likes to do that a lot, where it's zooming in on people's faces to show their conviction, right? When a fight starts, and trying to just shift the angle on the momentum and whatnot. And when the fist hits the screen, then they pull out and focus on the grander picture, which is a very neat technique. It looks very, very nice and pretty. Yeah. And he's pushing that away, right? He's like, why are you getting in the way? Why are you trying to convince me not to be the way I am right now? And he's just putting up all of his pain and misery in front, and is like, all right, no, I need to do this. He's resisting Yuji's attempts to kind of convince him to calm down and try to talk this out. Yeah, you're just making excuses, right? That's what he's saying. You're just trying to justify, to convince yourself you're in the right? You're trying to delude yourself into believing that what you're doing is not acting on emotions and pain, but rather it's the right thing to do in this case, right? Shoving away all that guilt that's gonna come in later, that you're gonna regret, or you're gonna turn in a way that it's not gonna be what you could be, right? And he sees that potential in him. He sees that like connection to him, his humanity, and he is afraid that this is gonna be gone if he does things that he can't take back, throwing away that life that you have. Obviously he doesn't know, right? He doesn't know about the mother and whatnot, that she died. And he's trying to peel in this case, but this is what's breaking through to him, right? He's like, if I don't believe that, otherwise what do I have left, right? What do I do with all this pain I'm feeling? And people feel like that often, right? It's like, sometimes it's too hard to confront yourself with the state you're in, right? With the emotions you're feeling, with all the pain that you have. And then we start to disassociate, we start to distance ourselves from that, right? We start to push it away. The problem is it always will keep coming back in, right? At some point in time, and maybe at the most inopportune moment, and that's an issue. In this case, it's even more an issue because we are in magical fantasy land where being corrupted in a way can probably taint you and put you down a path you can't recover from. I do believe that in reality, in the real world, that's not the case, obviously. But even there, it tries to, like, the show tries to put forth this idea that everybody is or most people are in a way redeemable. I don't know if the show would want to put out that Geto is redeemable, or Maito, because Maito is kind of the incarnation of what's not technically not redeemable about human beings. But at the very least, this boy who was on the edge of the sword and is tipping one way or the other constantly, that they are savable, redeemable, and whatnot. And he actually manages to get through to him, appeal to his emotions, empathize with him, be like, damn, dude, I don't even know. And this is empathize, not sympathize, right? Sympathize is, I'm sorry for you. It must feel bad, whatever, right? But look at the bright side, right? There's no bright side in this case, in this moment at the very least. So you gotta kind of get down on their level and kind of go back to when you felt this way, or imagine maybe how it would be if you felt this way. Kind of get as close to that as possible and be like, damn, that sucks, dude, I don't know, right? And then, but he provides him with a solution, right? He's like, he doesn't invalidate his feelings, he provides him with the solution. Look, there's a lot of people I know, a lot of good people, right, that I trust and appreciate, and they can give you a lot of warmth and emotional support and other support, right? They can teach you a lot of shit. And together maybe we can find out who did this and bring them to justice, right? Kind of a societally correct way, right? An emotionally, morally correct way in our society to say that this is okay to do, right? Okay to get revenge, but it's not the same as revenge, right? Bringing somebody to justice, being able to prevent them from doing something like that again, right? Crazy strong, reliable. And he thinks of that and has that image, which is a really, really great image. Fight together, not against one another. And that's when he appears, he's like, damn, well, I guess this is not working out. Well, it kind of is working out, because all they wanted to do is force him to actually make a pact. What they don't know, do they know? They don't know. They don't know. They actually don't. That he already made a pact. And they think too much like that Sukuna is like them. That's a problem, right? They are not in his mindset. And in his mindset, they are beneath him. Which they don't think, right? They don't imagine that. And that is a fatal flaw. He turns him. I really hope he can be turned back, honestly. Or at the very least, I hope we can go on a quest to turn him back. Eventually, right? We'll keep him and study him or whatever. It might be shitty, but it would be very, very sad, and also it would be kind of maybe the wrong lesson almost, right? And I don't think Yuji would agree to kill him, to put him out of his misery. It would be like, I believe there's a way to do it. And they're both laughing about him, and but he's like, he realizes what curses are, right? They're not human. They're just the worst things that are like the worst part of humans. Maybe parts that in moderation, right? In moderation wouldn't be all that terrible, right? But if they're increased by this much, right? If they're exaggerated like this, if they're purified, right? The purest form of what makes us, well, bad, for lack of a better term, then obviously there's no sympathy here. And this is what could have been this. This is like image of like, this could have been, kind of. Right? He's on the verge of, if it's even possible to turn him back, but it's very sad if it's a could have been rather than a could be. And this is bringing him to the edge, right? And then we realize that we're more effective against him than we think, and this is an amazing panel. Let me just, yeah. Black and white. There's no color in here. There's just pure fucking unadulterated energy. Right? As close as you can get to a manga panel. And very, very impressive, because these kinds of panels are always the greatest panels when you're reading a manga. Like they're amazing. And I do love when an anime actually pays homage, or let me say realizes that there's nothing more effective, right? That there's nothing more effective in this very moment to have the impact the scene is supposed to have than just more or less reproduce what the manga was showing, because sometimes it's just that good a panel. Yeah. I do believe that. I haven't read the manga, so I don't know, but I do wholeheartedly believe that this is the case here. This must have been some fucking insane panels. It's always very impressive, the line art, when everything else disappears. Just the amazing line art remains. And we zoom in all the way. That was okay. That's I didn't need to see that. And they want to force him. They want to force him to do it. And he said it, right? I'll kill you. He would have killed him. And here we go crazy with the animation. Zoom ins into the eyes, changing shapes, and the way we actually just fucking run up these flights of stairs while having this exchange of blows. I mean, he's mostly like just it's not even an exchange of blows. He's just fucking trying to dodge it. But he's relentless. He's relentless. Really love that about the art style of JJK, that they have this blurry image and then it goes into like the one before that was better, right? This one, right? This kind of style. Really great, really great. Ah, look at this shot. Holy shit, right? One eye in the dark. You don't see anything, not even a pupil wear. The other one all the way in the light. See the determination in there. Then we have strategizing with things. He's going in, he's like, shit, what's happening? This is unusual. I can't. And that's when we see like the token image of of what we see whenever we like feel Sukuna, which is very funny. He's like, you dared, I forgive it one time, but not again. He would have probably come out if he did it again, right? And he would have been like, bam, you're over. But Yuji too, right? He has that. I mean, obviously, he has that immunity, which is enabling him to do it, to do what he's doing right now. It's caving in his face, which deserved. Okay, deserved. And now we're two people. We bring him up to speed, and we form a plan, and we'll go. And this is how it ends, once again with a cliffhanger. This is how they get you. Holy shit. This is how they fucking get you. Fucking bastards. Yeah. That was JJK episode 12. Very cool episode. A lot of fighting, of course, which is... We're not talking as much then about the psychological side or the emotional side of things, but we had a couple of very interesting topics to discuss, and I'm expecting more next time. A really cool fight I'm expecting next time, but maybe I'm going to be surprised and it's going to be over in just a jiff, and we're going to just wrap up this mini arc. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of loose ends still there. There's Junpei. What do we do with him? What happens to him? Right? There's Maito. Is he going to get out of this? Or, right? Because now it's 2 against 1. Maybe it's even going to be more in the end. Who knows who Nanami actually took with him in the end. Like the student, maybe he's going to come in as well. Yeah. The school, now, obviously, what happens to the school, not a lot, right? We're gonna probably be able to save most of them and whatever, but yeah. Yeah, if you like this video, please leave me a like. I would very much appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. Check out the Discord and Patreon. Patreon, there's early access also to Jujutsu Kaisen sometimes. It's the lowest tier, so if you feel interested in that, go check that out. I can't say if there's a JJK, like the next episode, if it's on Patreon right now, but there's a high chance that it is. So go check it out. Look if there's something in there for you. Aside from that, I do hope you tune in for any other series I'm doing. I'm doing Monster and Bocce right now as well. Check that out if you haven't, and if you're curious about them. And I'll be seeing you next time.